Oh, I'm coming behind him, coming behind him. Oh, almost got, where are you going? Oh, he tried to pop shot me. Oh, we got another one. Oh, he went down quick. Oh, another one. No. Oh, let's go, boys. Too easy. This capacitor is OP. So let's get into the build so you guys can see exactly how I had this thing set up. And I will tell you one thing, that this build can work in the dark zone too. I effectively use it in the dark zone just as much as I use it in conflict. So for the weapon, we are running the capacitor. Now you do see the 25 expertise, but in conflict, remember your shade watch level and your expertise level does not matter. So it doesn't really matter what it is. You can run this at level 0 if you guys are running this in conflict. Now in the dark zone, obviously it does matter. So something for you guys to keep in mind. We have 119,000 total damage, 700 RPM and 41 in the magazine. We have assault rifle, damage to armor, and damage to targets out of cover. Now, what's cool about this is I'm not taking advantage of any of the skill damage that this thing can do, but for every yellow skill tier, I gain 7.5% weapon damage, and I actually have 4 skill tier on this build, and that's what's so cool about it. So we have 10% crit chance on the scope, you get the 11 rounds, you get 30% crit damage on the muzzle, and 10% weapon handling, so that's why the reload speed is so good. For my secondary, I am running a custom M87. I use this from time to time, 1.4 million. It has shotgun damage, damage armor, damage targets out of cover, and then it has flatline. I am using the link laser pointer because I do have the technician class, and that's where I'm getting my 4th tier skill. So we're going to amplify all weapon damage by 15% to pulse enemies. So we have 5% crit chance on the scope. We have 20% reload speed, and then we have the link laser pointer. Like I said, I am running the technician class. We actually use this because of the 1 skill tier that we're getting, and then we're able to use the link laser pointer on that shotgun. So we are running a Providence, and we're able to unlock the 2-piece because of the backpack. We have Providence right here with 15% headshot damage, and then the 2-piece allows us to get the 10% crit chance. We have armor, critical damage, critical chance, and critical hit damage mod. For the chest piece, we're running the fenris chest piece. It's going to give us 10% assault rifle damage, gives us 30% reload speed. And that's why with this capacitor, we're able to really reload really fast because it already has weapon handling on it. And then we have a 30% reload speed here. We have armor on here, critical damage, critical chance, and then critical hit chance on the mod. And then we have unbreakable. When your armor is depleted, you repair 95% of your armor. Remember, PvP, that's 50%. We are running the Bacaro's holster, and this is going to give us a 2 skill. Well, it's going to give us 1 skill tier. It gives us, it unlocks a 10% skill haste and the 1 skill tier, and that's where we're getting an extra skill tier on the build. We have armor right here. We have critical damage, and we have weapon damage. For the knee pads, we're in the Rock and Harris knee pads. This is going to give us 5% weapon damage, 5% damage to armor. So we have armor, crit chance, and crit damage right here. For the gloves, we are running the Petrov gloves, the contractor gloves. This is going to give us another 8% damage to armor. Now look at this. It gives us 15% weapon handling. So again, that's more of that reload speed. That's why it's so, I'll show you the reload speed in a second. We have 10% LMG damage, which we're not using, but we're using that 15% weapon handling. We put a skill tier on here, so we're getting another skill tier. So that's already 2 skill tiers. We have the Bacaro's holster. Then we have this right here. So it's damage to armor and then critical hit damage. And then finally, obviously, you guys probably guessed the Ninja Bike bag. That's what's allowing us to unlock the 2-piece on all of these. We have weapon damage, armor, skill tier. So that is our 4th skill tier. Now we have crit chance on here. If you guys are running in this dark zone, you don't have to worry about the crit chance here because remember, in conflict, you lose your watch, so you lose 10% critical hit chance right off the bat. So you want to be at 60%, so that way you're at 50%. Now, if I'm in the dark zone, I'm at 54, and then I can put critical damage here. So just that's the one thing I would switch is the mod right there. We run a Defender drone, which is actually really good, and then the Stinger Hive. Remember, this is going to be tier 4 Stinger Hive, and Defender drone is going to be tier 4 too. So look at that PvP damage reduction, 24%. It's absolutely insane how this works. We go to the stats, you'll see 60% crit chance. Remember, this is 50% crit chance in conflict. The critical hit damage is 147. This is a little bit less in conflict. We have 90% headshot damage, 25% armor damage, and then we have 10% damage to targets out of cover. So a ton of damage here on this build. Reload time on this is only 1.3. That's why it is crazy. We have 65% reload bonus. 35% accuracy, 35% stability, 25% weapon swap speed, and then you can see the 25% handling, and then we have 20% ammo capacity. But yeah, that reload speed, 65% reload speed bonus is actually pretty insane with this build. And you can see the build right here, the capacitor, we have the shotgun, we're running the technician class. We're sitting at 1.8 million. In the dark zone, I drop it down to 3 skill tiers, and then I'll put another armor core here. But again, you can run it like this, just like this in the dark zone. But yeah, it catches people off guard. This capacitor right here, man, just so much damage, especially because you can stack 25% damage to armor on the build plus the 10% damage targets out of cover. Pretty good. And I think a lot of you guys will enjoy this one. And like I said, you guys can run this in the dark zone and you guys can run this in conflict. Typically, I run this a little bit more in conflict, but when I am in the dark zone, I tend to run it if I'm solo, maybe even with I'm with a team for a little bit. It's definitely a fun build to use, and it catches a lot of players off guard, especially with the amount of damage. And like I said, just remember, for the dark zone, typically run 2 million armor, but you can run the 1.8 million, and then you can drop the armor core for yellow and keep the 4. If you guys even want to go even less tanky, you can go to another yellow core. Remember, it's only going to help out your defender drone or whatever skills you plan on using. If you want to use the stinger hive, those yellow tiers are going to help out, but also it's also going to give you 7.5% extra weapon damage, because every yellow skill tier gives you 7.5% weapon damage with the capacitor. So that's actually pretty cool about it. So if you guys enjoyed this one, man, drop a like. Let me know, what do you like running your capacitor with? What type of builds? And have you been PvPing with it at all? But that's going to wrap this one up here. Don't forget, guys, I've been streaming over on the main channel at NothingButSkillz. Remember, this is NothingButSkillz 2.0, where you can catch a lot of your Division content. But if you guys want to see me stream the Division, stream other games, go catch my live streams. I stream daily, and all my VODs are on there. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey, NothingButSkillz is out, everybody.